All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, from wherever you're joining us from, this is No and Local Broadcasting Live from the great state and the great country of the United States. And I am privileged to be joined by a team of people who are somewhere here in the diaspora and some are back home. And we are talking about the importance of investing back home in our beloved country of Zambia, which, for those who are joining us for the first time, Zambia is located in the southern tip of Africa. And these are monthly conversations that we have to discuss on how do we bridge the gaps, how do we connect with the diasporians. The market or the investment, the climate in Zambia is very conducive, especially at this time. This is why we are reaching out to tap into the vastness of Zambians in the diasporians because there's a lot of resources at our disposal, and we're trying to see how do we channel these resources to our beloved country so that we can also, in a way, contribute to the development of our country. So joining me is a team of, I would say, highly informed, intellectual people. And let me bring up our people. We can get the conversation on the road. So we have the voice that you have seen and heard from, for the most part, Mr. Jimmy Katuta. And we have Mr. K, who has been in the UK. He'll talk a little bit about himself, and now he's back home in Zambia. And we have Mr. Roger Charlie, who is based in Canada. So let's go to Mr. Katuta. You have been part of this conversation for some time, and you have lived in the diaspora in the United States, and now you're back home. And now we are having a conversation trying to appeal, trying to encourage our folks, especially in the some of us who are still here. What message do you have for us, Mr. Katuta?
Good afternoon, gentlemen, and good evening. It's always encouraging when I see us come together like this to just brainstorm and share ideas, and also share some of the knowledge that we have with the rest of our community, those in Zambia and those in the diaspora. So it's a good day. Today is the end of the month. This year has started off very, very well, and I personally feel very optimistic. I like the direction our country is going. Everything is looking good. Investments are ripe. A lot of people are coming to Zambia. And that is why it's so important that we have these conversations, just to be a portal of information. We want to give information that is honest, unbiased, because we don't want to give false hope. What we tell here is the truth. I'm speaking from experience. I have lived both in the US for a very, very long time, and now I am in Zambia and enjoying it. So I'm just happy to be here. So I can't wait to hear what my friend, Mr. Roger Charlie, has to say, and also my newfound friend, Mr. K, who is here in Zambia, a fellow retainee like me. And him being a youth, his information or whatever he has to say is quite valid, because most of the people, when we speak, as you know, those of us who are a little older, people think, oh, these guys are just old. They have nothing else to do in the US. That's why they are returning home. But when you hear for a young man who is full of life, well educated, full of full of hope, full of promise, to tell you that he is living in Zambia and he is thriving. That is the message we want to send out there. So happy to be here, Mr. Noah.
Great, great. Yeah, I think that's good. Usually people take position that only people who are tired and old are retaining, but it's good to see people like Mr. K. So we'll circle back to Mr. K in a few seconds. Let's go to Mr. Charlie. Roger Charlie is a veteran on this media space. Back in the 2015-16, I actually started out the first time that I was getting on this streaming radio waves was with the Zambia Blog Talk Radio, and Zambia Blog Talk Radio is uh, a platform that has been around for quite some time, and that is where I actually started out from. So what I know now in this space, I attribute it to Mr. Charlie for uh, back in the days. It's over 10 years now since we were working on the Block Talk Radio. Block Talk Radio is still out there. So I'll give the floor to Mr. Charlie to just share some thoughts. He is a Zambian, obviously based out there in Canada. Mr. Charlie, welcome to our program.
Thank you, Noah. Thank you for inviting me.
Good, good. Yeah, talk a little bit about yourself and what you do so that at least people can understand who is Roger Charlie.
Okay, Roger Charlie is, of course, a Zambian who loves his country, very passionate for that matter. When I look at the progress our country is making, the investors are flocking to our nation. The question I think you posed, Noah, is what the importance of us investing back home. A diaspora, to begin with, in other countries is called a golden investor. He is more superior than any other investor for the reason that any other investor wants all sorts of conditions before they can come to Zambia. But for a golden investor, because Zambia is home, like you said, no place like home, I don't need any conditions to invest in my nation. So, like you've said again, Noah, I've been around Blog Talk Radio. We went live. I'm a co-founder of a global cooperative. It is still going on. I'm the past chair with huge investments in government bonds. I am pushing a lot of initiatives. I would like a lot of diaspora or Zambians to be participants on the Lusaka Stock Exchange. We need to be on that platform. I tell Mr. Katuta, I'm bullish on copper. Any stock of copper in Zambia, ZCCM, let's buy. If we haven't got the actual metal, let's participate. Let's buy the stocks. Let's be on the market. Let's support our local companies, sugar, butter, ShopRite. Let's support them. So I'm really passionate about all these things. If we members of the diaspora can step up, I believe we are the second only to government when it comes to potential capital we can bring to our nation. But we need to find some room where we can come together and make some agreements. It is very, very hard to agree, but I'm sure a platform like this, I know we should find a way of agreeing.
Oh yes, yes. I think well said. Because it's important in order for our country to develop or be the country that we want it to be. We are the ones we've been waiting for. Like Mr. Tuta always says, it is up to us as a people to do that which we need to do, not necessarily to look to the government. I think it has been beautifully said by John F. Kennedy back in the day that ask not what your country can do, but ask what you can do. So this is why us as people, we are taking the initiative to ensure that at least we are not Like, Boma Yonepo. No, no, no. We have to change that to Boma. We are the people who can make a difference. So let's go to Mr. K has been in the diaspora and he has returned back home, just like in the introduction, Mr. Katuta was saying, a young man, because usually people will say, oh, what you could do, returning to the village. So, Mr. K, you have returned back home. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Which country were you in, and why are you now back home?
Okay, thank you very much for introducing me, and I think it's a very lovely platform. And calling me youthful is it's pretty good. Um, I just turned 40 like 3 days ago, so yeah, I think I'm in there somewhere. I've been in the United Kingdom, and I've been there since I think since I was 16. Coming back home was, like you say, trying an adventure just for oneself, testing oneself. Out there in the
Mhm.
diaspora, it's always, there's that comfort that everything is okay, but we learn a lot of things from out there, and we hope we bring it back and then see what it is that we have over here. Most of the ideas have been done out there. It's about adding them to our, you know, peaceful a place what we call home. So yeah, that's probably one of the reasons I've been back here. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I think that it's good to, like Kenneth Maduma used to say, uh, uh, home is here. Yeah, so I admire, for instance, the people in Ethiopia who contributed, the diasporians for the Ethiopians, who contributed greatly to the building of the Renaissance Dam. Now the question becomes, what is it that we can point at as Zambians in the diaspora? What are we doing? So this is why people like Mr. Roger spearheading the cooperative, encouraging people to invest in our local initiative, the stock market. I think that's a very good initiative. And also pouring our resources into the government bonds. Because the Lusaka Stock Exchange, just like it has been rightly pointed out, the diasporians have a greater financial muscle next to government. So the remittances that are coming in almost every second, those they infuse, they're added into the economy, creating jobs, and just not only do we help our loved ones back home, but there's a lot more that goes into that to just sustaining the country. So this is a good thing. We have to be the ones we've been waiting for to make meaningful progress into our country. So anyone, gentlemen, can chime in terms of now. This is just an open conversation. The economy in Zambia, we've seen the kwacha. Some of us, I think Mr. Roger and I, who are still out here in the diaspora, when we see the kwacha, for us, it's less money coming to the homeland, which personally is not a good thing for me, but it's a great thing for our country. So talk a little bit about, anybody can chime in on this one. The kwacha is, I think, the first week of January was the best performing currency. So, any thoughts on the kwacha, how it's doing? Anyone?
Um,
Yeah. Yes, Roger.
maybe it would be good whenever we are discussing the Kwacha appreciation that it has not been a 1 week event or 1 month event. This has been happening for a full year, so to say. Although in the past month, this month, I think it really gained a lot of.
I can chime in on that.
Mm. Oh, okay. I think Mr. Katuta is having some technical challenge. Yeah, continue, Mr. Roger.
Yeah, okay. and maybe leave me on the screen like this with you guys. That way I feel I'm talking to people. So it's been gaining a lot of momentum in the past month, especially January and February, and there's a lot which has come to that. We saw our reserves here in New York. They are quite stable at 1.5. We at one time we were only talking about 1.5 billion, equivalent to 1 month of imports in our nation. Now we are at 5 billion. All these things, they are adding on to the to assurance that our currency is not going anywhere anytime soon. Those who follow the copper story, copper's price on the stock market has been on the upward trajectory for quite some time. And Zambia being a copper country, those have also added on to the strength of the kwacha. And remember, I don't know if it was 2024 when we had a very bad drought as a nation. We needed food. That is not the case anymore. We have surplus corn, surplus maize, meaning the need to import, the need to use a dollar is much less. So you find all these things coming together, as Bakatuta said. All these fundamentals, they are coming together, and hence our kwacha has been appreciating. Like you said, yes, it's been quite painful. Some of us are building back home. At one point, when I go to Remitly, I was sending $1 was one Canadian dollar was equal to 18, and now it is 13 something. So that hasn't been a very helpful to me. But on the big picture, I know that now my country needs less dollars to import machines. They need less dollars to import vehicles. So now I know why we are having extra money to give the children to go to school for free. We can feed our children to be in school, and all these things which are coming together. So for me, I'm worried less. Yes, it is painful. Here and there, it is a little bit painful, but to see our country, which was on its knees about 5 years ago, defaulting on the Eurobonds, now standing the way we are, it is very encouraging. And that's going to warn Jimmy and Brother K here. We will be in Zambia soon. I don't think we'll stay here forever.
Yeah, well said. Well said. It's good that the direction that we're seeing is positive for the country, and we love to see that too. And we hope that continues in the trajectory that we are on, the economy-wise, the kwacha-wise. So at this time, just want to encourage people, share with your friends the streaming, the broadcast. And if you have a question at any time, you can, if you're joining us either on YouTube or Facebook, you can write your comment and we'll be able to, or if you have a question, we'll be able to stream it on our end here, so that at least we are able to get some engagement and participation with our folks on the ground. So feel free if you have a question. So we'll be right back in a few seconds. All right, so Mr. Katuta, I know you are having some technical challenges on your end, that side. So hopefully you are able now to get back on track. So we were just talking a little bit, Mr. Roger Charlie was talking about Kwacha gaining and taking this course of action, which disfavors some of us who are in the diasporians. And it's very advantageous to you people like Mr. K and yourself, Mr. Katuta. Any thoughts on the Kwacha, either Mr. Let's go to Mr. Katuta. Any thoughts on the Kwacha gaining momentum?
Thank you. And I want to apologize to our viewers. I don't know what's going on with my internet. I believe that the enemy is trying to attack us because he knows that when we come together like this, lives will be changed. I have never experienced such interruption, so my sincere apologies. We are a very professional outfit here, so for us to have these challenges is not something that we take kindly to. So sincerely apologize. The issue of the kwacha to me, Brother Noah, is bittersweet, right? Because on one end, like you, even though I'm in Zambia, my income is drawn from the US, so I am feeling it as well. But the fact that it's the kwacha's growth is helping our economy grow is something that I can live with because you're starting to see little changes, little shifts. It's not very evident yet, and that is why you will hear some people complain in the streets. They'll say, "Well, the kwacha is gaining, but we're not seeing a difference here. What's going on?" Because they expect prices to come down immediately once they start seeing their currency ascend. But it doesn't work like that. I'm not an economist, so I'm not going to try and even venture to try and explain why that is. I just know that, like my brother Roger said, the price of copper has gone up, the price of gold is going up. And the reason the price of gold is going up is because there's so much instability in the world. And none of these currencies will be sustainable because what's going to start happening as more countries get more debt, they'll just start printing more money. And when they print more money, then currency devaluation is inevitable at that point. So most people are choosing to save their money in gold. So for us in Zambia, to be a country that is producing gold abundantly to a point where there's so much gold in Zambia that you have a lot of people from outside Africa coming into Zambia and settling into Zambia. I don't know if you gentlemen saw this. There's an article going around on social media where there's this American lady and she is standing on this mine with a lot of equipment in her background, and she's talking about how they are making. They were making like 42,000 a day. Now
That's
they're
right.
up to about 126,000 a day. So the fact that this woman doing that is black, even though she's not Zambian, it doesn't sting as much because I believe that the African Americans are part of us. So our endowments are part of their inheritance. So that is fine. So what I want us to do as Zambians and Africans in general is to tap into these areas. When you see somebody working on these gold mines and our government, bless our government, because our government has been so lenient in making sure that people can easily get mining licenses. There are a lot of licenses issued. Before, they never used to give artisanal licenses. Artisanal licenses are the ones that people call illegal, right? Illegal miners. So now these people are able to get an artisanal license, which gives them a small area where they can mine. So where we want to come in as the people that are affiliated, connected, or established in the diaspora, where we come in is when we come together and say, how can we as Zambians now start participating in this growth? Because the gold that is here is abundant. The only thing that is lacking is equipment. Equipment can be rented, can be leased. So it doesn't mean that if you're going to get involved in gold mining, you have to buy excavators, tippers, and no, you can hire them. But we need to seriously consider getting involved in this industry. This gold mining industry is something that will change our country. It's something that has the potential, believe it or not. I know this is far-fetched, but it has the potential to change Zambia from a third world country to a first world country within the next 20 years, because gold is a value that never depreciates. You will never lose value if you have gold. So what I want us to talk about, especially with people like Mr. K, Mr. K is somebody who's in IT. So generally, people in IT, I believe that their brains work faster than most of us. What I would like to hear from you, Mr. K, is where do we begin, right? Where do we begin engaging not just the youth? And believe it, when you're 40, you're a youth. Believe it. I know you're a father and a good one at that. But when you are a youth like that, people will listen to you. Some of us have been speaking for so long, people think, Barana Bobadia, you know. But when they hear from somebody like you, people start to pay attention.
Mm.
People start to pay attention. We are out there abroad, working 9 to 5s, making what, 40, 50,000 a year. Sounds like a lot of money, but when you factor in the cost of living, you're making 40, $50,000 a year, and your rent is $2,000, and you could barely afford to buy a house because you won't qualify for a loan because your income doesn't meet it. Your debt to ratio income is upside down. So chances of a bank giving you a loan are very difficult. So now you're forced into renting, and guess who's owning these houses you're renting? Foreigners. This is in the
Mhm.
US I'm talking about. The
Yeah.
Chinese, these are the ones that now are the landlords because they bought up a lot of land. So, what I'm trying to say to our friends in the diaspora is when you come to Zambia, talk to your friends. Say, okay, gentlemen, ladies, because they do this thing they call Ichirimba, right? Wanoa,
Mhm.
you know? So,
Yeah.
imagine if you were to just apply that same method of saying Ichirimba. You get 5, 10 people and say, okay, let's put in a certain amount of money. Let's get an artisanal license. You get an artisanal license, there's plenty of land. You can start mining. You can start mining. And it is that simple. You need very basic tools to start mining at a very, very small level. And as enough people come together and develop these small silos of minds, eventually they'll come together and incorporate and become one huge mind. That's where I'd like us to see. I'd like us to get to a point to where we as Zambians own a big gold mining company, so that we can create jobs for our local people, so that we can develop the areas where these gold mines are, so we can start bringing our people home, the intelligent, educated, ambitious, well-learned people that are abroad there. I want them to start considering coming back. I'm not forcing them to come back. I'm just saying, think about it.
Mhm.
Think about it. This is not a plea. This is a business move. This is a business move that will help you make a lot of money, at the same time develop your country and create a better sustainable life for your children. That's where I think we should be headed. So, Mr. K, I would like to find out from you. I know I'm putting you on the spot, but where do we start? Where do we begin?
There's plenty of areas. Just to add on what you say, um, from you guys we get the wisdom, and then for us, well, the youth as per se, is to apply one's knowledge. Inviting people to back home, yes, it's not a forcing thing. It's just looking to your future, yourself, whatever it is that you're bringing back to the country. You had asked the question on the Kwacha, whether it's improving or not improving. For me, I've always had this look to say it's like water. Sometimes the water is rough, then sometimes it's calm. So this whole concept of the kwacha going up or not to worry. It's not my strength in terms of economics, but I think it's placing oneself and creating structure and consistency to everything that we do. For the youth, it's more about support, and there's also this thing which I think we've borrowed this culture where I should be the one on top before anybody else. That way, I think that's where we end up having these issues where you find that people are not really helping each other. You find the other guy is trying to, you're trying to get assistance. Like you gave the example for licensing. You find that someone wants to hold the license over your skills. Now, how do you help each other like that? That's holding each other back instead of actually pulling each other front. I've seen a couple of adverts on TV, specifically in relation to getting mining licenses and also the experience for understanding the mining sector. I think that's actually a positive way. That's one way. So when we ask people from the diaspora to come through and assist, there's so many ways that you can assist. It's in understanding the mining sector. It's I don't know, home. There's just something about home though. Much member kutuwa landa chani, kutuwa samwa kali ni kungani. That's the difference between being in the diaspora and being home. Home, you have that because you know the way it is. I remember this uh, moment back in the UK when I got on a train and then this guy says to me, "Yeah, you're African, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm African." "So why don't you go back home?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm going back. I just need to learn." It's
Right.
you there's all these kinds of scenarios, and that was I think one of the motivations I had for myself, like going back home. I'm like, okay, at least I know I have a place to go. It has its advantages. Why somebody there if you're somebody there, but if you're somebody out there, you bring it back here. I mean, we can make wonders. Like Mr. Jimmy says, like Mr. Roger says, it's all good. Yeah, that's what I can say.
And one of the things, Brother Noah, that some
Mhm.
of my friends in the US have been telling me the reason they are so reluctant to come home. You know, you have the baby boomers, as they say, the baby boomers are now getting very, very old. So the main concern, obviously, is health, right?
Mm.
So
Yeah.
most of the people say the reason they are so hesitant to come home is because they don't trust the healthcare system here. And I was telling my friend, I said, look, man, I am in Lusaka right now, and I had to go do my yearly physical. And there's the hospital in Lusaka, the UNILAS. It's the university. It's the University of Lusaka Teaching Hospital. I have never
Mhm.
seen a hospital that advanced in Africa, and I've been to a lot of countries in Africa. This hospital is state of the art. It's exactly like the hospitals in the US. And the doctor visits, I was telling my friend, the doctor visits are 300 kwacha to go see a doctor. 300 kwacha is what? $15 maybe?
Mhm.
So the issue of worrying about healthcare should not be the issue because we have a very advanced healthcare system here in Zambia, and
Mhm.
everything is there for those who are worried about keeping up with their health. So it's just a question of saying, am I going to stay here wherever I am in Canada, the US, uh, wherever abroad? Can I stay here and just keep kicking the can down the road? Because there's going to come a time when you want to come home. Like
Mhm.
Mr. K said, there's nothing better than home. So we seriously need to start thinking about making the change. We don't have to move. I'm not saying quit your job, go and insult your boss and say, I'm out of here. No. What I'm saying is start slowly. like what my brother Roger does. You know, he comes here,
Mm.
he has projects going on in here, he starts, he goes. But I know a lot of people in the diaspora that do that. Come visit, stay a little while, get a change of scene, have some organic food. It makes you feel better. You know, your health, everything just improves overall because the climate is so good, the food is so highly nutritious, and you can't lose. So just come visit a week, 2 weeks. Most of us tried to come to visit for 2 weeks, and we ended up spending more money on air tickets because we kept extending the ticket because it was just so much fun to be here. So
Yeah.
that's what I'd
Mm.
like to people. I'd like to see people do, brother.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Because I think also myself on your last point there, uh, coming to Zambia, we always have to extend. You plan, no, I'll be there for 3 weeks, and then when the 3 weeks come, like, no, let me add one more week. Let me add another week. Yeah, because there's no place like home. It's just a blessing to be in your own space because you feel at home. You are grounded. That is where our being belongs. So we are temporarily residing in these parts around the world, but obviously we are looking to get back home. So at this point, I just want to encourage if people are watching on Facebook or YouTube, if you have a question, you want to put it in the comments there, and then we'll be able to project it on our screen. If you have a question for Mr. Roger Charlie, you have a question for Mr. Jimmy Katuta and Mr. K, feel free to project it. We'll type it up there and then we'll do the needful to share it on our screen. All right, so Mr. Roger Charlie, you go to Zambia. Obviously, you have got projects going on in Zambia. So, what message do you have, I think, for those people who do not know about the investment initiatives that you are championing, the government bonds and other initiatives. Talk to our people so that at least our people get to know the beauty of what is on the ground and why they need to be looking to Zambia going forward.
So Zambia and I think the rest of Africa, I guess. I've tried several times when I try to visit Zambia. I say I might go to Namibia this time. I might also visit Botswana, or I might visit Angola. At the end of the day, my 1 month all finishes in Zambia, just like 30 minutes. So I failed to go anywhere else because it is just so good. Zambia is a green field. That is my headed headline. Um, when you are here in Canada, when you are in United States, we see a lot of things are developed. Even the smallest road you can think of is tarred. And yet in Zambia, the main roads are well maintained. But you go to a place like where I don't know, Kabulonga, say for instance, beautiful houses, but you find these small roads which are not tarred. I look at that Anoa, I see opportunities. I don't see, oh, Kagwaba developed. All those things which seem to be a problem, I see opportunities. I don't have to fight with anyone. If I was to import a machine with China, they have from street to street to my side streets, not from the main ways, street to street, trying to tar all those roads. I'm home and dry. A lot of developments are coming up in Zambia. They may not have all these beautiful roads we talk about. The other time I was Wakatuta talked about the cost in Zambia. It is quite high. When you go to ShopRite, ka 2,000 kapwafe kwati there is nothing. Ka 2,000. So the question I was asking was, since a greater number of people who live in Lusaka, a bigger percentage of people who live in Lusaka today live in the shanty compound. Kanyama, Misisi, Kalingalinga. That's where 70% of the population of Lusaka lives in those townships. So I said, how are they managing this cost? Because one, they cannot go to the bank because of the way they are structured. They live in an unstructured housing. They cannot go to the bank and say, give me equity so I can start business. But to me, when I look at that, maybe we just need to negotiate. How do we bring these areas to some level where they could be of value, where they could borrow against their house and they can invest? All these are opportunities, Noah, I see when I see to Zambia. So some people are seeing a shanty compound, I'm seeing opportunities.
Yeah, I think,
Zambia, gentlemen, Noah, this is why when Wakatuta said, can you come to the show? I almost said no. Because when I get started about what is happening in Zambia, I don't want to stop. Right now, when you go, wherever I go, I try to sit and just start to think. I sit at the malls, East Park, arcades, very nice, beautiful.
Yeah.
Our colleagues are bringing their capital from South Africa, mostly South Africa. Look at the quality of the buildings which they are building. What are they seeing in Zambia, which I can't see as a Zambian? World class when you look at some of these shopping malls. World class. They are filled. Yes, people are complaining, but there's some places where people are doing just fine. So all these Noah and gentlemen here, for me, when I look in Zambia, anything someone is going to complain about, I see an opportunity. When they are complaining about network, I'm seeing an opportunity. The mining, Jimmy is talking about here. Now, even a small person has got a mining license. The government is pushing the nation. It's pushing us. Come on, guys, let's go. So we just need the tweaking. I don't know who said here. For me, it was you, Noah. For me, a government, Yanganeko, I don't even want to hear that. Government is already doing whatever it can do. What I need from a government, on my point of view, a government which will protect the nation, not violence when they are having elections. We want them peaceful. A government which will not steal from its citizens. That's what I want from the government to do. The rest, let's shut the path ourselves. And the opportunities, again, I repeat, the opportunities in Zambia are immense.
There is so much going on in Zambia. So again, we're having this conversation, ladies and gentlemen, from wherever you're joining us from. We are Zambians trying to encourage those who are able to look to Zambia in terms of investment, in terms of business, in terms of travel. There are Zambians married to non-Zambians. We are encouraging our people to say that the climate and the business in Zambia right now is very conducive. This is why you have people like Kay, who was in the United Kingdom, but now he is retained back home. So we're gonna take a short break, and then when we come back, we'll have a question we'll learn a little bit what prompted Kay to return back home. So we're gonna take a short break, and then we'll be right back.
Premier Media is one of the fastest growing independent media enterprises that produces bias-free content and streams educational programs to empower Africans, African Americans, and the African diaspora around the globe. Premier Media owns and operates a valuable portfolio of streaming programs, such as Primetime Show, The Circle of Love, Leadership Files, and Revolution. Not forgetting our signature development panel series, which features experts around the world that highlight challenges and opportunities in Africa, putting Africa in the center of global conversations. For more information, visit us at premiermedia.com or follow us on social media.
All right, so follow us on social media, share with your friends and circles to join the live stream. If you have any questions, comments, feel free to drop them in the chat box or where on your platform, whether it's Facebook or YouTube, we'll be able to project them on our screen. So at this point, we're gonna go to Mr. K. Mr. K, you were in the beautiful, comfortable UK, and now you are in Zambia.
Yeah.
Walk us through what prompted you to make the change.
I suppose it's an open mind. I had an open mind, and just it's like the message that I would say to most Zambians is look at Zambia as like when you get on that flight, get home, just have an open mind. I hosted a couple of my friends, I think last year in November. They're not they're not Zambian nationals, but you know, Pakistani, Sri Lankan, and Jamaican, I think. And the first is, oh, what are we going to see in Zambia? I said, I just jump on that plane, come with an open mind. I'm not saying you're throwing away all your comforts. It's about being smart with the choices that you make. The advantage you have in the diaspora is, yes, there's that comfort, the financial comfort or whatever it is, but also this is your home. You invest back a little bit for your homestead, and then you balance it out. So for me, I balanced it on two levels. Firstly, I'd come on holidays, and then my cousins would be like, "Oh, what are we gonna do?" I'm just like, what's to do here? And I noticed, firstly, for me, I just jumped into real estate. It's the easiest thing. The first thing is real estate. Once you have that area, whatever you're trying to do, you carry the diaspora with you to your home as per se. And then from there you just keep building and building and building. So you can actually vacillate between two places. You have your home away from home, and you have your home as it is. And I think mostly, like we say, yes, opportunities everywhere. Uncle Roger there, he talked about the roads. There's certain places we don't have like road markings. Like the basic road markings. I see that's an opportunity. A Zimbabwean friend of mine flew over, same thing. What can we do down here? I said, yeah, just buy some equipment from China and come and mark some of our roads. That's money being made right there. Plenty of different things that you can be in. Uncle Jimmy there talks about mining. Those are opportunities. You're holding land. That's to you. That's your title. You bring in your family, bring in your friends. And I think there's plenty of stuff out there. As for myself, I'm very attached to home. I'm a patriot. That's what I could say. That's what draws me back home all the time. I always just I remember Mr. Noah quoted Kennedy, "Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country." And I think that's the best quote that we have. That's been out there. And with that principle, is I think that's what we need to carry as Zambians. Don't shy away from home. Yes, we're not perfect, but we can be perfect. That's the honest truth. And
True.
I don't know. For me, I don't know. I think cheat them week of Zambia. If you love your country, you're not going to be sitting and just saying, no, I think yeah, Uncle Jimmy was talking about the Unilas, the hospital there. Those are the people that built that place. Because I live down just down that road. The people that built that, I'm sure they saw somewhere and they got those ideas and then they brought back what they could do. And I think that's more private as opposed to like in relation to government. Obviously, we've got government. UTH is there, Levy is there. We have all these level ones or level twos. The only issue I've also noticed with my fellow countrymen is this laissez-faire kind of approach. Love your country, come through,
Mhm.
do what you can. Watch that late packet, watch the balance. You do, you have the comfort where obviously yes. I'm not going to pretend. There's moments where when the stress was a bit too much, you go back. Maybe in there, well, the moment you arrive, well, you hear what people are saying, and you're like, I think I miss home. Bit gradually like that, I kept getting drawn home, home. So yes, the comforts are good, but there's something else that I can do home. That's all I can say.
All right. Yeah, I think that's well said, sir. There is a question here. We're going to circle back to you, Mr. K, but let's project the question for Mr. Charlie while you were talking, and also Mr. Katuta. Chime in on this question. The question is about mindset.
Yeah.
The mindset, because when people are in back home and people are here, what type of mindset do people need to be in to ensure that there is this seamless transition? So I think Mimi asked a question. I think she's talking about mindset. Any thoughts on that? Either Mr. Katuta or Mr. Charlie, you can chime in.
Go ahead, Mr. Charlie, take that.
I have a question. How do you bridge? Maybe put on the question again. How do you bridge
Bridge
the
the
gap
gap.
between mindsets of most Zambians, including some leaders, and the person ready to work and invest in, given opportunities that are the number one mindset change in my view. Most of us Zambians, probably a lot of leaders included, is the get rich quick mentality. It is a killer. So a friend of mine from South Africa told me, whenever Roger, you are trying to invest, he asked me, how old is your son? So I told him, okay, let me retell the story. So he was talking about a tree called academia, academia, something like that. It is a very expensive tree grown in South Asia. And it produces a very expensive fruit, which is turned into medicines and other stuff. So he was telling me he wants to venture into this tree. So I asked him, how long does this tree take to mature, to bear fruit? And then he said 7 years. So he heard my voice or my demeanor, so to say, go down. And he knew I was discouraged there and then. So he asked me, Roger, how old is your son? I said, my son is 25 by then. So if you add 25 to your son's age, by the time this tree is going to be bearing fruit, your son is going to be 25 plus 7 is what?
32.
32.
32. So which means my son will have opportunity
32.
to have something. But most of us, we use our age. You know, if you are 50, if you are 60, you are 70, 10 years, investment. Then when am I going to eat? So we find ourselves, we are not pushing to do the right thing for our nation. Look at China, for instance. We used to laugh at the Chinese back in the day. The Chinese have been moving slow but sure, slow but sure. Today, even the Americans, when the Chinese cough, we used to say when America cough, the entire world sneezes, but now it is China who is doing what? Why? Because they are patient. My sister is talking about the change of mindset. Simple equation I've given everyone. When you look at every investment you are going to look at, don't look at using your age. Use your children. Then that discouragement will go away. If your child is 20 and the investment will mature in 10 years, your child is going to have time. In short, it is time for us. It is time for us to stop leaving inheritance inheritance of poverty. Maybe we are not going to benefit ourselves. Maybe we are not going to benefit ourselves. But let's make that initial investment that now our children, when they are of time, they'll just shoot. Yes. If, for instance, our parents were not there to teach us how to invest or how to look at things, where we worked with money, if they are selling cooking oil, you have to buy, even if it was not in the plan, because times were so bad. We hear things are settling down in Zambia. Inflation is down. So you don't have to rush to buy today or to buy tomorrow. The price, you will find it when you go back tomorrow. There is a good chance you are going to find the price at the same price. So let's begin to plan. But first and foremost, I urge people, when you are investing, don't use your age to invest. Use your children's age. That will help us to just calm down and stop this get quick rich, because getting quick rich has never gotten us anywhere.
Yeah. That's good. I think that is true. The macadamia nuts, it's a tree that takes a while for the fruits to fully mature. And it's right, people tend to look at the here and now and check like what's in it for me. So I think that's the mindset that we need to detach ourselves, especially encouraging our children and looking to the children, just like Mr. Charlie is saying, because if we look at what's in it for me, and then we miss the point. So, Mr. Katuta, I don't know if you have any thoughts on the same. What type of mindset, what are the gaps that we need to work on as a people?
Good. Thank you. And thank you, Mimi, for that question. That's a very important question. And I'll add to what my brother Roger said. What we're doing, one of the things we're doing in Lusaka right now is that we are starting incubators with Anna Ziambo, who is a co-host for Kuchalo here. She's not here today, but she and I have had several meetings, and one of the things we're working on sort of answers Mimi's question. We'll be having incubators to where we will start shifting the mindset. So we'll be having people like Mr. K here who have lived abroad, and then we're bringing in people right here in Zambia, because what I've found out is that there are a lot of ambitious and educated young Zambians who are just looking for direction. So what we want to do is we need to start incorporating the knowledge that we have from abroad into the knowledge that's already in Zambia. Not that the knowledge in Zambia is not sufficient, because we're trying to diversify. We're trying to grow both here and abroad. So if we bring the knowledge, some of the knowledge that some of us have acquired over the years, 30 plus years I've been in the US, is quite invaluable. So we'll start teaching young people how to do business. We'll start teaching young people, like Brother Roger says, how to think forward, not to think at no, you have to start thinking ahead, 30, 40, 50 years ahead to say, do I want them to go through the struggles like I did? And if most of us start thinking like that, because we love our children, and we want the best for our children, every parent wants their child to do better than they did. And this is where it starts. As we are teaching these young people the right way to behave in public, the right way to do business, talk when you're spoken to, mind your manners, things like that. It starts from there. It may not seem like a business transaction, but that's where it starts. And as we teach them, the next children they will have will be better. And then those will have better children after that. And eventually, ultimately, we will do well. As far as investment goes, Mimi, I say start small. Obviously, you don't want to risk something that will going to completely bankrupt you or collapse your lifeline. You want to start small in investments. There's so many things you could do in Zambia that make money. So many things. We are out of time here, but if you could drop us an email, we'll be happy. I'll be happy to have a conversation with you and show you what we are doing to make sure that people are making money on small things. Because like Roger said, where you see difficulties, there's opportunity. There are a lot of roads that have been built in Zambia, by the way, Roger. The area you're talking about in Kabulonga, there are new roads there. There are a lot of roads everywhere, but they have no markings. So like Kay said, these are some things you could do. These are council level contracts that you could get. And no, not everybody is corrupt. Most of these applications are done online. So the whole norm of people thinking in Zambia, no, these applications are done online. So one of the things we have to teach people is how to get your business ready to get these contracts. You have to have all your papers in a row. I mean, all your ducks in a row, as we say in the US. Make sure you have all your documentation right. And then at that point now, we start reaching out to banks. One of the services we'll be offering at the incubator is inviting financial institutions to come and do these workshops so they can educate the people on what is required. Because most people think if you just go to the bank and apply and they deny you, like, oh, but it's an MP. No, it's because you don't have what they need for you to have in order for them to give you a loan. Banks serve shareholders. Banks are in the business of loaning money. They don't want to hold on to their money. They need to loan the money, but they have to make sure that the money they loan is minimal risk. And that's one of the things we'll be teaching at our incubators when we start later this year. Actually, not later, I'm talking the next 2-3 months. That's my contribution to that.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. And as we are finalizing, we'll give Mr. K, do you want to chime in also on the mindset before we get to our final thoughts? Any thoughts just on the gaps in terms of mindset?
Unmute.
Oh,
You're mute.
Sorry, my yeah, Kujimi has put some valid points, same as Roger. It's all about like the transitions are firstly the cultural differences, where you're coming from to come here, based on this. How do I question for you, sir, how to bridge the gap between mindset? So when you get on that flight, you find yourself here. You should remember that, yeah, quite certain norms that you do out there, those comforts you leave them out there, then you come here and then try and morph into that that scenario. Once you arrive, it's also just placing yourself, finding your footing, more balance, and I don't know. I think pretty much everything has been said that needs to be said. It's a mind. I think setting oneself in this sphere. I think it's oneself. You just have to take the step. You come forward
Mhm.
and say, "I want to go to Zambia. I am going to do A, B, C." You've already set yourself up. We all know that. Bear in mind, you've set yourself up out there. But what you're trying to see is what's on this side. It's kind of like Ngamle when you're opening up a business. You don't just you don't just rock up to a place and then you open a business. That's like you test the waters, then you have something. So it's the same principle. You place yourself in there, motivate yourself, and that's all I can say. I think.
All right, gentlemen. As we are now
Hello,
in the
can you hear me?
final phase of conversation,
Hello, can you hear me?
yes, yeah. So now
Oh,
we are in the
heard the
final
sound
phase
from. Hello.
of conversation. All right, yeah. So we can hear you, Mr. K. Yeah, we are in the final phase of the conversation as we're gonna take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to give our final thoughts as we conclude the conversation. Stay tuned.
Welcome to Kuchalo, your leading online hub for Zambians at home and abroad. Kuchalo is a trusted source of news, lifestyle, and practical information tailored for Zambians near and far. What we are: a platform designed by Zambians for Zambians and friends of Zambians. Tight-knit, inclusive, and Ubuntu-powered. We bring you the latest news, travel and tourism insights, investment opportunities, educational resources, and uplifting diaspora stories. A community-focused, non-political space celebrating our heritage. What we offer: community stories, diasporans making an impact, a bias-free zone, calm, factual, resonance over sensationalism. Our approach is Ubuntu first, content that strengthens community, celebrates heritage, and brings people together. Clarity, relevance, and inclusivity. Voices from Zambia and the global Zambian family. Where you'll find us: in Zambia, the US, the UK, Canada, Australia, South Africa, and everywhere in between. Kuchalo keeps you informed, connected, and inspired. Join the Kuchalo community today.
All right, people, join the family. If you haven't subscribed to our platform, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube. Make sure you drop a like and follow so that you can get informed of future programming. And now we are at the point where we are looking at the final thoughts as we conclude this programming. So let's circle back to our guest. So we're going to start with Mr. Roger Charlie. What's your final message to those who are watching, wherever they may be? What do you want them to learn from this broadcast today?
That Zambia is ready to receive us, especially those of us who are in diaspora. As Brother K is saying here, when you are coming from wherever you land, just have that mindset ready to adjust, not thinking everything should be the same as Canada, where you are coming from. Just have that mindset. Again, like I said, for me, I'm so bullish on copper. Because Zambia's economy is controlled 70%. It is copper related. 70% of our revenue comes from there. The president is pushing the nation. We are at 1 million metric tons. Now we want to go to 3 million metric tons. The question to the Zambians is, are we going to let the same players who have been playing the game from 250 metric tons to 1 million, 1 million, 1.5 million, 2 million, while we watch and just maybe complain or whatever we can do. Or we should say our. By the time copper ikalafika 20,000 per ton, nishinaneni nkwata mumu. Nishinaneni filo kuba mumu. That is, to me, that is our message. What is going to be my gold holdings as a person come 31st of January 2027 next year? What is going to be our gold holdings? Tukawafe pamopene where we are today? Or we will have at least something holding in the bank? What is going to be my copper holdings? Be in stocks, be in the actual mineral. 1 year from today, what is it going to be? I think that is our challenge we should all give ourselves, so that next year, this time when we report back, wakati utawakalanda ati I'm now holding 70 kilos of gold in my portfolio. Brother K is going to be saying now I'm controlling this much copper in my. Oh, that's what we want to hear. To the four areas, yeah, I end there.
So, thank you. That's a great challenge. So let's go to Mr. K. Your final thoughts.
My final thought is, I think as Zambians, we are very strong in character. Yeah, there's just that something that we have, and I think when you look at your home, don't fear, just jump on that plane, come to the country. That's all I can say. Opportunities will always be there, and life is what we make it. That's my shortest, brief summary of encouragement that I can give. Anything is possible in Zambia. Just look at it this way. The thing that drove you to find yourself in the diaspora, without actually knowing what's there, you managed, you established yourself, you reverse it as well. Now it's coming back home. That's the principle. That's the magic right there. If you need any form of motivation, that's it. You carried yourself, you went. Brother Roger, Brother Jimmy, they went there, they established themselves. And then they came back, and now we're trying to do the same thing. Now, new replication, coming back home and reinvesting. And I think it's a noble cause. And I would like to say, firstly, thank you very much for inviting me. It's open mind. Thank you.
All right, great. Yeah, I think well said, Mr. K. I think in the words of reggae music lyrics, they would say, rewind and come again. So we're gonna go back to now, Mr.
That's right.
Mr. Jimmy Katuta, your final thoughts.
Thank you, Brother Noah. Mr. K, thank you for accepting the invitation at such short notice. I really appreciate that. I certainly don't take it for granted. Your input has been very well received. My brother Roger, you and I talk nearly every day. So to have another day where we can talk and share this platform is something that I very, very much appreciate. And of course, Brother Noah, your effort, your foresight to bring us together like this, to communicate to the rest of the world, especially our people in the diaspora. This is something that to my people in the diaspora, I will ask you this question. 30 years from now, when Zambia is so advanced, and you and your children are in the diaspora and you are on your sick bed, dying, hopefully not, but this is a fact. It's going to happen. We all come to die. And then you're telling your children that ine shilefua mukango chekuno ndefa mukatwale chitumbi kunganda, and your children don't have enough money to send you back home because all the money you made while you were in the US has been spent. Because what sustains people in the US is a good credit rating, in spite of what somebody might tell you. If you don't have good credit in the US, it doesn't matter how much money you have, you will not live a comfortable life. It all boils down to credit. When that time comes, and every time somebody dies in the diaspora, and then we all have to gather around and start reaching to our community leaders and asking for GoFundMe to raise money to pay for the funeral, send bodies back. Remember this day. You are given an opportunity here today to invest in your country. You are very, very lucky that you have a country that is as good and as sweet, frankly. That is not an overstatement. Zambia is sweet, and Zambia is ripe, and the country is ready for you. This is time to invest in Zambia. I know there are people who say, well, we are building there Turapulo. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that. I have friends like Roger here who are building, they are building here. I have friends who have apartment complexes. That's good money, but that's not the kind of wealth I'm talking about. I'm talking about life-changing wealth, where you invest in a gold mine and your generations after you will never suffer. That's what I want you to think about. Don't be a statistic. No, your country right now is telling you, I'm ready to bear fruit, and you are invited. If you don't come, someone else will. They're here. Don't be left out. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening and for watching.
Yeah, I think that is very well put, Mr. Katuta. Thank you. And I want to extend thank you again to Mr. Roger Charlie and Mr. K, and Mr. Katuta is a regular on this podcast. We are doing our very best to send positive vibes into the universe and hoping that it lands on fertile ground so that our people are able to realize and understand, just like Mr. K said, when some of us were looking to migrate into the foreign land, we didn't know anyone out there, but now we can use that same mindset to look to Zambia, where we grew up, where we know our neighbors, we know pretty much everything else. We need to make sure that at least we are doing the needful. And Mr. Roger Charlie has challenged us, January 2027, what portfolio and how is it going to look like on your end? You have an opportunity, we all have an opportunity to do the needful, to shift from this mindset of saying, Boma Yanganepo, because we can take necessary steps right now and invest, whether it's in gold mining, or we can invest in copper, or we can buy bonds. There is so much that we can do. And also, Mr. Katuta talked about, when you're lying down on your deathbed, you want to be able to leave an inheritance for your children, not leaving the stage of life in debt where we have to put up a GoFundMe account. This is why the good book always says, a wise person leaves an inheritance for his children's children. So we have the opportunity to make life what we want it to be, because we can decide. We have the right ideas, the right mindset, to make a decision, because life is about making a decision. So hopefully we were able to achieve one or two things by sharing that there is life in Zambia. It's not only when you are old. There is life in Zambia where we grew up. As much as we've made our living here in the diaspora, at some point we need to start thinking and looking back to where we're coming from. And like reggae music would say, rewind and come again. So we hope you are able to learn one or two things, and we'll circle back next week or next month on the 28th. We'll have a much bigger program. We're still planning some entertainment. There will be some poetry competition. There will be some musicians singing, and we encourage, especially Zambians residing in different parts of the world, to chime in, tune in, and follow our page so that at least we create the platform where we are sharing ideas, what is happening in the diaspora, and how we can leverage our um, our resources, because Zambia needs our resources as a country to move forward. There's so much that we can discuss, and hopefully in future we'll be able to participate in the voting system in Zambia. But we have to do what we need to do as a diaspora to contribute to the betterment of our country. I think with that said, again, I thank our panelists, Mr. K, Mr. Charlie, and of course the regular Mr. Jimmy Katuta. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. We hope to see you back again. And hopefully, if you have a question about how to get in touch with either myself or either Mr. Roger, Mr. K, and there's a contact number. You can either call or you can email, or you can like our page and put a question or how to get in touch with us. This is how you can share. Get in touch with info@kuchalo, and we'll be happy to hear from you. Again, I thank you, gentlemen, for taking time. We'll circle back at a later stage for another programming. It's thank you and bye for now.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Thank you very much.